Hi friends, it's Amy Welch, and today I am going to go over one of the training topics that you guys wanted to hear about, and that was how to create momentum. You know, I hear this all of the time. I certainly have been guilty of it myself during my Plexus journey, where you hear someone say, "Oh, my team has lost momentum. It's gone. How do I get it back?" Right? We've said it, you've said it, we've all been there. So I actually was thinking about how have I created momentum and what really does it come down to? And I came up with 4 tips to create momentum for your team. The first one is your mindset. Absolutely. And this is probably the hardest thing for people to get, right? Once you get it, once you understand the importance of the mindset and how impactful it is, then you get the results that you want every single time. So with that, I mean you must have 0% doubt in your business and in your team, right? You have to have the mindset. So the minute you say to yourself, "Ugh, my team's lost momentum," the negative mindset has already started to creep in. So you have to get rid of that, right? You have to have that confidence and that posture and having belief that massive results are going to happen. Almost to the point that you already know it. They're happening. You are assuming it. So having that belief, right? If you are new, now some of you aren't, this is actually for a certain group on the team on the page, but if your team doesn't have that mindset yet, you need to help your team. Help them fill their cup, right? Nobody is good or effective when their cup is empty. So build up your team, help them change their mindset. And for a lot of them, if they don't have the belief yet or the confidence, let them lean on yours. It's okay. They can use you as their upline for their belief. But the number one tip, I think, would be mindset. And I'll give you an example of that. When I was Senior Ruby and I wanted to hit Emerald, my upline, Sarah Taylor, told me, "Okay, if you want to hit it by a certain date, you need to add 100 people to your team." The most that we had ever added was 40 people, and that was the previous month. And immediately, my mindset went to the negative, and I told her, "No way, we can't do it, it's impossible." But her belief and her mindset and her confidence in me built me up to where I believed it. I had no idea how I was going to do it, but I believed with all of my heart that we were going to add 100 people that next month. And you know what? We added 111. And so I really think that mindset had a huge role to play. If I had never gotten that in the beginning, it didn't matter what the next 3 steps were that I'm going to share. It wouldn't have happened. So the other tip that I think is very important when we're talking about how to create momentum is your team culture, right? What is kind of the culture on your team page? What does it look like? This is an intangible, but you all right now have a sense of what your team page is. You want it to be something that is fun and exciting and supportive. People want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, right? They want to be a part of something that is fun and that they want to go to the team page and check it and get support and ask questions. If you have a team page that's full of drama or complaining or negativity, you got to nip that in the bud. You want to change that team culture to make it fun, right? Whether that's through lots of posting or contests or things you do on the team page as a group, that's what you want to do. Certainly, if you have a team that you live near and you can get out and do in-person meetings with them, even if it's just meeting for drinks or lunch, just building those relationships. For those of us that have a team that's completely spread out, you have to make that culture more through the team page. The other third tip I have for creating momentum is goal setting. I was not someone who believed in goal setting a whole lot in my previous career. Like, they'd always have us write out our goals for the year and the quarter, and I thought it was silly. I thought it was just silly because, I was busy doing real work. I didn't have time to focus on these goals. But once I came to Plexus and I started writing out my goals, I'm going to show you here my little notebook, right? So here's an example. I would write my rank that I wanted to hit, the month I wanted to hit it, what it was going to take to get there, and then I would put action to that goal. Goals mean nothing if you don't have action behind them. So set your goal. Put it somewhere where you're seeing it every single day. And just by seeing it, that also helps with that mindset that it's going to happen. My last tip for creating momentum, and this is the biggest one. The pace of the leader determines the pace of the pack, right? So if you aren't recruiting, your team's not recruiting. Somewhere in the universe, even though they don't know that maybe that week you didn't do your follow-ups or you're reaching out to potentials, somehow in the universe they know it and your team slows down, right? So if you aren't showing up, they aren't showing up. That's where momentum comes from. That's why it kills me when I hear people say, oh, my team's lost momentum. The leader has slowed down. The leader is not pouring into their team. Are you attending the team calls? Are you on the new ambassador training that many teams have every week? Are you doing these things? Are you going to opportunity meetings? Are you commenting on the threads on your team page? Are you running the contest? Are you running these things? Are you sharing? If you're not doing any of that, you cannot expect your team to, right? So be the leader. The pace of the leader determines the pace of the pack. And I get it. As a leader, it's hard. We've gone now from our own businesses to all of a sudden having this team that we are responsible for. And at times, you might wake up and you might not feel like being a leader that day. But we don't have that choice. So I tell my team sometimes to fake it till you make it. Doesn't have to be the perfect post on your team page or the perfect thing to share, but you have to share something. As the leader, you have to show up every day and be the leader that your team needs. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks, guys.